Adrian Crawford and welcome to Williams Crawford Passion for Porsche. Today I'm going to do a new feature and depending on how well this goes it might be something that we roll out regularly, and it's called Educating Harry. Now Harry's our 18-year-old in the sales here. He's very smart, but he doesn't have the grey hair. So I'm going to explain some of the things that I can remember. He might even remind me about some of the things that I've forgotten and show him how I'm judging condition of cars just by looking at them briefly. We'll take you through the process and no doubt he'll ask me some awkward questions and I'll see how we get on. Hope you enjoy it. Here we go, Educating Harry. Okay, so the first thing that I'm looking at is the colour, and is there any colour variations on it? I can see by the reflection through the paint, and there's always like a reflection line up through the paint, that the panels appear to be really nice and straight. I'm looking for colour variation between panels. Now, a lot of what I'm telling you doesn't make a car a fatality, but it does either give me clues as to whether I should look further. So if I saw the panels were mismatched, then I might be looking to see how much mismatch there was and whether there was any evidence of repair on it. But on this particular car, the panel match beautifully, and I would go all the way around the car and see that. Now, a point in case, I'm not saying that you can accept a car that's got a silver bumper and a grey body, but there's always going to be a variation between the paint on the plastic, especially on a metallic, and the paint on the metal body. And it's something to do with the way the metallic lays on the plastic or lays on the metal. So even on a factory standard original car, sometimes you'll see some form of difference in some different angles. So typical things that you'll all know about: stone chips across the front. They might add an air of authenticity to a car, but obviously there's a level of damage that you might feel is necessary to paint it. Most of these cars by now, and especially something like this one has 70,000 miles, it's been looked after, is guaranteed to have had repaint in places and probably across the front and quite possibly the doors and stuff like that. So quickly I'd have gone around, made sure that I'm happy with the overall look of the car. I've also clocked that the wheels are in good condition. I've clocked that the tyres are in good condition and they're matching tyres.
Yes.
So again, it's not a fatality, but I like to see a set of good quality matching tyres. The discs I can see are also, they've got a little lip on the front and a very small lip on the back, so there's plenty of wear left in the discs. Then there's other little clues that I'm looking for. So things that you probably wouldn't have noticed. On these cars, they often had little bits of clear plastic. This has gone a bit grotty, but a little bit of clear plastic to stop some chafing. Now, if they've been in an accident or they've been repainted extensively, often that stuff goes missing. It's just that little detail, someone peels it off and it's gone forever, or they've painted over it. So to see that original, I'd give that an extra bonus point really. When I look inside, the sills are clean, the door entries are clean, the doors are not scuffed, the door panels inside are not scuffed. I like the look of it from there. Let's go around the other side. So across the back, I'm seeing that the tailpipes are equally clean. I like that, and I'll come to that later. It's a 4S, so you've got clear lenses. Let's see what it's looking like in here. So in here we got a few other points of interest, Harry. Same little bit of clear plastic. It's like this stone chip stuff that's on the wheel arch. If these are looking a bit tatty, that's okay. You can replace them easily enough. Or no, you can't replace them easily enough, and I can't replace them easily enough because I'll end up with a fingerprint under there. But someone can, and it is not a disaster. In here, I'm particularly interested to see the VIN number in here and the little label, and of course I can feel that it's not been repainted around here, and the same on here. Quite often on these cars you'll see damage. This one's got a little bit of chip in here, and it's where the seatbelt's been caught, but this is of quite a low level, and I like that. That would suggest someone's taken good care of it. And again, the door entry's nice, the seat is nice, and this car's got about 70,000 I think on it, but it looks like a very gentle 70,000 miles, because I'd usually expect to see more wear on the seats, and these seats haven't been redone or anything, and I rather like that. So for me, I like originality. I like the car to feel authentic, and I'm looking at the mileage on this 76,740 and looking at the outside condition, and I'd say I'm always looking to see whether it balances. I remember having one of these turn up, and it had done about 40,000 alleged miles, and I've never seen a car so worn out with a low mileage. Yet we did some checks on it. We interrogated the history on it when it went in the workshop, purely because I was like curious. I'd already discounted the car and thought there's no way I want it in the whole wide world, but I wanted to find out if it had done more miles. We interrogated the brain. We couldn't find any evidence that it had been tampered with. So that was where the balance went like this. Yeah. On this one, I'd say the balance is the other way. It's done more miles than the condition would suggest.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
When I'm talking about condition, I'm talking about the cosmetic appearance of it at this moment in time, nothing to do with the technical.
Yeah.
But generally, things that have got nice matching tyres, the wheel edges are nice. Look at this. No chips along the door edge. Really nice. Someone's taken care of it. They've lifted their shoes to get in over the sill. Someone's really had a nice, given this a gentle time. So then next level, remember I'm going to test you on all this later, Harry. Remember I was saying that if I saw something like mismatched panels, or that the panel alignment was a bit off, I might start looking a bit harder. And on these, stay there, then on these, I pick that off, and down through here is a little bit of panel sealant where the wing fits onto the body. And when they've had a replacement wing, that's always missing or torn. It never gets replaced. So again, having a replacement wing isn't a crime. However, if it had a replacement wing, I'd be then digging deeper, and you would be out of your depth.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd be wanting to find out how extensive this is. Being 997, no VIL number like the old cars, you don't have the white sticker going on. So I'm happy with it in there. If I wanted to find out more about whether it had more extensive damage, I'd pop this carpet out and have a look behind, have a look in the corners.
Yeah. Would that be looking for more replacement parts?
Yeah, I'd be looking for any sign anyone other than the robot at Porsche had been in there putting it together. So, and I've seen all sorts, So you get cars sometimes looking as nice as this on the outside to the layman, and, not quite making it Right, so on this one, battery cover is off, but we'll stick that back on. It's clean around here. Sometimes they get quite corroded. This one's quite good. Again, not a fatality, but... So what else have we got? I like the inside. My next level would probably be to start it and listen to it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
So I'm going to do that and get you to start it.
Okay.
At the moment, with Harry, I'm not confident enough in his 18-year-old ability to actually let him out of the showroom and drive this around, but he is capable of starting it. One day, Harry.
There you go.
Okay, so for me, the car's got a lovely, sweet sound. What I'm listening for is unevenness or a clicky, clattery noise like a tappet, like a loose tappet. And this one sounds really, really sweet. What it sounds like on camera, I don't know yet, but that's what I'm listening for. It's a subjective thing, but if it sounded bad, I'd shut it down and I'd probably be walking away.
Can you hear anything to worry about?
For customers, for people buying these cars, everyone talks about IMS bearings and bore scoring. Those are the two things. So first of all, the sound of this gives me no reason to think that we've got any sign of problems in those areas. The bore scoring, typically, again, you get like a different mechanical sound when you first start them or when they're idling. IMS gives no indication at all. Nothing.
So we wouldn't know if the IMS was a problem from the
you
sound?
wouldn't.
Okay.
Your first signs of IMS may be that you're beginning to get an oil leak between the engine and the transmission. So if you were looking at one of these for me and you didn't have workshop facilities, you'd be looking just in front of the rear wheels for any oil staining. And if you saw that, again, it's not a guarantee because it could be residual oil from something else or a previous problem, but that ought to give you I'm going to back up here. Also, look on where it's parked.
Yes.
Yeah? If it's been on someone's driveway or on a garage floor and you saw spotting, then that's where you dig in much more. With IMSs, it's dependent car to car. There's no guarantee that an IMS will go bad, and there's no absolute certainty until you look at it as to whether this car has one that's replaceable or the type that you never need to replace. The likelihood on this particular car is it'll be the bigger bearing with a bigger nut on it that you don't need to replace, but it is not an absolute certainty. So to labour the point further, I've had personally cars with 80 and 100,000 miles that have the replaceable type IMS, and I've removed them and they've been perfect. I've also had very low mileage cars that have needed replacements, and that's because they sit there unlubricated and then one day, 6 months later, someone starts them. So it's a well-worn thing well-worn isn't the right phrase I'm looking for. It's a well-worn path, and most people know about it, most people can deal with it. Worst case scenario is that if you've got a little bit of leakage, you can replace the bearing or you'll replace the seal. So that's IMS. Bore scoring, as I say, I'm listening for it, but here, if you said, I've looked at this car, everything felt good about it, Adrian, it sounded nice, the condition looked nice, then our next level is it would go into the workshop and go for an inspection, and one of the things they do is put a little a little, what do you call it?
A little camera into the...
Yeah, a little camera down into one of the cylinders and have a look and see if there's significant scratching in the cylinders. So I'm liking that. That's looking good.
So we've looked around the outside of the car, we've looked around the inside, we've listened to it, but last of all, what about the paperwork?
Okay, so number one, there's lots that you could look at with this car, but really that's better done by a qualified workshop. All I'm putting forward is a quick visual and little bit of experience to help you select things, or to maybe this is, after all, like a 5-minute check rather than a full check. So please don't come back and sue me when you've bought a crashed, clocked, corroded and clapped out 997 following my suggestions here. It's only like the way that I do it. But paperwork is an interesting one. So this car's got its service book, guarantee and maintenance book. It's really handy to have this. A car without it, it doesn't make it a fatality, but it does really hurt it.
Yeah.
So number one, what age is this car, Harry?
2008.
Okay, and we've got a print date in here of May 07, so that ties up, and it's for an 08 model year, look.
Yep.
So I'm happy that this is likely to be the original service book. We've got in here first owner's name, and I can see from the postcode BT that this car was supplied in Belfast, and so Northern Ireland car in the 9th of July 2008.
Yep.
In here is a VIL label. These labels changed over the years, different sizes, different sort of structure with them. This is correct for this model year, and these labels were applied by the dealer, not by Porsche, and that's why some of them are skew whiffed, some of them are missing, and they won't always show. Quick little thing in here. This is a WP0ZZZ997 Z8, 8 being the model year on this age. And then it's 22986, which is the series, you know. So the next one along the line would have been 87.
Yep.
We got the engine type on this one, 9701. It won't state the engine number on here, but it does go LM7Z. Do you know what that is?
No.
Paint.
Okay.
Lacquer. LM7Z. So that will be GT silver on this car. FE is going to be the interior colour, which on this I think is midnight blue. C16 shows that this car was a UK specification, so to be sold in a UK market. I've had C97, C98, C everything else, but C97s and 98s would have been like Cyprus or Malta or something like that, still right-hand drive. And COO, Germans first. So COO was for German market.
Okay.
All these would be option codes. Not all the option codes, but most of them. And this car having 3X numbers, look, X70, XPA and XLF. Those will be for special order things, like little options that are above and beyond. And that could be anything from like a leather armrest through to maybe like a little bit of carbon fibre in it or something like that. And then the rest will all be to do with sports seats and heated seats and navigation and stuff like that. So next step, you got a good memory?
Yep.
Easy one, 986.
Yep.
Over here in the window, 986.
Yep.
So I'm happy with that. There's also a body stamping plate on this, so that if I had any suspicions, I'd be in and taking a look at.
Yep.
On that point, in the last 2 months, I've had 2 classics with not arrive here, but cars that have been offered to me for us to buy and sell, and I'm not happy with the VIN numbers on either of them. And together they weigh in about £250,000. So, especially on classics and on restored cars, it's well worth taking the time to look at the VIN number and make sure you're happy. And with any of this, even whether you're buying a 20 grand Boxster or a £200,000 car, I think having a bit of experience or an experienced eye to look at these things is value for money. So, yeah, pre-purchase inspections are more valuable than a post-purchase inspection, because by then you've done it. All right, so then service records in this car. I mean, this would be on a 2-year maintenance schedule, but without boring you with all the detail, things that I'm looking at, it was done in 09 at 21, look, in Belfast. Happy with that. Next one is in 11, so that's on schedule. At 39, so that's more or less on schedule. Then at 13, at 49, 15 at 61, and 17 at 65. Mileage is slowing down now. Yeah, you can see that is 10 years old or something, and it's beginning to slow down the mileage. Then it came to us in 19 from minor at 70. It went to an ordinary, actually they're quite good, but you know, they're just an independent for a little oil change, look, at 74. And then we've done a major service, spark plugs and drive belt replaced. So that's the auxiliary belt, not a timing belt, these are on a chain, replaced at 76672 in 2023. So in theory, when's this due its next service, Harry? Oh, you hadn't been paying attention. Right, a demerit for you, but this is on a 2-year interval.
Okay.
So in theory, its next service would be May 25. The reality is hopefully someone will come back for an MOT this, you know, like in 12 months time, and let's have another look over it.
Yeah.
And because it's getting older now, it's worth looking at it more often than when it was new.
Yeah.
So essentially on this car, very happy with the cosmetic condition. It gives me all the feelings that someone's really taken care of it, even the door entries and stuff like that. Happy with what I see on the ground, tyres, discs and so on, and wheel condition. Happy with the way the engine sounds. It sounds sweet.
Yep.
It's not clattery or clicks or whatever. It might come across different on the video, but I'm happy with it. And I'm happy with the paperwork so far. That would merit moving to the next level, but that's beyond the scope of this little video and beyond the scope of what I can teach you. All right?
All right.
So that's it. That's, I hope you enjoyed that. That's Educating Harry. I'm Adrian Crawford, and next time we might choose a different car or a different scenario. All right?
All right.
Okay, take care.